Da-na-na. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me unplug this fridge. All right, the fridge is unplugged. We're ready to go.
Let's do this. It's weird to start. It's like jumping into the
Here we go.
This is Mark Bonde and
DJ Dudley D.
and this is Paisley Nights,
Yes, it is.
chronicling the days of wild. We are back again.
Third finger down.
Third finger down, rocking it. If you don't know how to do the wild sign, check that out on YouTube. Do the wild sign right. Just put that in there and little tutorial. 40 seconds, you can do the wild sign. I'm telling you, it's a pet peeve of mine.
You can see what Mark looks like.
You can't see what I look like. YouTube video. But I mean, it's a pet peeve of mine that people don't know the wild sign.
It is.
It's one of those things. Everybody needs to know the wild sign.
It's the opposite of giving the finger.
It actually is the opposite of giving the finger. It's the third finger down, kind of makes a W, so
Yep.
it's, I don't know. Check it out. So we're on episode 3. We've got a couple that we've done already, and this thing is just heating up. How do you think it's going so far, DJ Dudley D?
I think it's good. I mean, if I'm hoping you guys have all listened to the first episode, which was hilarious in its own right, and then the second episode with Bill was amazing.
You think we're accomplishing the goal of trying to tell some different perspectives?
We got a ways to go, but we're going to get there.
How many stories do you think are out there, like of people that participated in the Paisley scene, went out there, let's call it, I mean, I guess times doesn't matter, like 50 plus times?
Oh, man. There's got to be at least 100 people that made it out there 50 plus times.
Yeah, 100 people. I mean,
Yeah.
So do you think we could do 100 episodes of interviews with these people? You think all their stories are different and unique? And
I think so. I definitely think so.
What do you
There's
think
different eras, and before we were there, and then while we were there, and then there's some stuff after that we were kind of out there on the regular. So, yeah.
do you think these stories, why do you think they're so different and unique? Is it just different people, different walks of life?
Different walks of life, for sure. I mean, everybody's got a different story about how they got into Prince, discovered Prince. Either it was on their own or through an older sibling or a mom or
somebody gets them connected.
Right.
And then, they get connected to this place, Paisley Park, right? Because it's like one thing to be like into Prince. It's another thing to be into Prince and live 20 minutes from where he's going to be.
Right.
It's just a whole different world, right?
And once you experience it, it's like, if you know what's happening,
You got to be there.
If you don't have anything going on, or even if you have something kind of cool going on that you can get out of, you're going to ditch everyone and go out there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear the
That's
stories.
what we did.
I'm excited to hear the stories. I'm excited to hear the feedback. It'll be interesting to see what the masses think of this. Because from my perspective, I want to get this out. We're investing time and energy. But I'm looking at it from a history perspective, right?
Right.
In my opinion, Prince is going to be in history. I mean, obviously, just the volume of work is going to be
Forever around.
Yeah, forever around, but I think like interesting for like somebody to study, right? Like in 100 years, some 18-year-old kid could also get into Prince, right? And if they get in,
right,
the rabbit hole just it just goes and goes and goes.
I even find myself, like, when I'm scrolling through social media, like, I'll stumble across a live performance or like something on TV that I'd never seen before, or it's been so long that I forgot about it that it's almost like new again, and you just like, wow, it was only 8-minute clip of like a concert in Tokyo in like 1991, and you're like, man, I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I just want more, So I guess when you get back to the goals of what I'm trying to do, I think we're trying to do, is these stories from these people at Paisley Park that were close to them, like physically, proximity, and the multiple times. Like, this is just it's just interesting. It's just different.
Yeah. It's a one-of-a-kind type situation.
Yeah, this doesn't exist anywhere else.
No.
So it's unique, and I'll be interested to hear the feedback if people can, like, vibe with it or if we're just out there.
If we're just boring.
50-50, right?
It's a coin flip.
You know, so as we get into stories, you know, I mean, so what's your story? Like, how'd you do you, man? Where you from? Tell us about DJ Dudley D.
Myself. Oh, it's myself. I'm being interviewed all of a sudden.
Yeah. All of a sudden, transition time.
I am born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota, right in the heart of Uptown, a few blocks from Lake and Hennepin. My parents still live there. So I grew up in Uptown. Not your, I don't know. It's like I feel different that I grew up in Uptown in the city versus people that I talk to who grew up like in the suburbs outside the cul-de-sac. It's like, what, your mom didn't let you go up and protest the first Gulf War by yourself when you were like 10 years old?
Yeah. I mean, Uptown's just got a different flavor, right?
Yeah.
So how'd you get into Prince? What was your background on like the Prince scene? Like, did you grow up listening to Prince? Were you like 1999 dropping the needle on Little Red Corvette, or?
I mean, I got to be honest. I grew up and Michael Jackson was my jam. I grew up breakdancing,
MJ,
into hip hop. But yeah, I wanted to be Michael Jackson. I had the glove. My mom, for one of my birthdays, she's an artist herself. She knits and she weaves and she sews and does all sorts of stuff. And she made me an outfit by hand, sewed it up for me, and that was my birthday present. I got the glove and the Michael Jackson outfit, and I was so happy.
So
Michael Jackson.
So you were an MJ fan, but not Prince.
No, I mean I knew about Prince, but yeah, my thing was MJ, and then I got into hip hop and breakdancing.
Okay.
And all that stuff. We had the cardboard in the living room, taped down, duct taped down.
Yeah,
We'd be doing the
thing.
back spins right there, and then Dad would walk in and be like, "What are you doing? You're wrecking the carpet." So yeah, no, that was kind of my introduction to Prince, besides hearing about him all around, was actually really going out to Paisley Park, like we talked about that first night.
Really? So before that, do you have Prince recollections? Like, do you have specific, like, no, I mean, like the Prince Jam came out, and I remember this, I remember that?
No, it's like, you hear about Purple Rain, like I said, and you hear about Prince more than probably growing up anywhere else, because you're in Minneapolis.
Yep.
But
there's no connection to the music, no songs, no single that you got, man, I got this latest Prince hit.
Nope. And then it just.
But then it popped.
Oh yeah.
Because like what was the pop? Like, how did you? We went out there in May, right?
It was
that was this episode 1. If you haven't listened to it.
Yep. It was the second time I went out there. I believe it was the second time. It was seeing him perform.
So that's when it changed for you. So like when I was hype on him all summer back in '95, and I was like, "Peak Control, we got to go get this, do this." Sorry, I'm moving in the mic, but I get excited. But my point, like I was all hype all summer, and are you just saying, like, dude, you weren't hype? You were just like,
no,
whatever?
I was hype once I was there.
Yeah, at Paisley the first time.
Yeah, but it was. Listen to Prince. I know you had the hits CD, and you were into that and listened to that, but it was like. For me, like being a DJ growing up and just like going up to Cheapo and Uptown on Friday night and spending my Friday night digging through records and going home and teaching myself how to DJ and just learning the craft and whatnot. Like I had this thirst for music, and when I went out there and was in the room and it was happening live, it was like, this is it. This is amazing.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And I think our mutual enthusiasm coming from different perspectives was
right.
Because I don't know what captured me. It was just something like, people are doing this.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, I just want to be part of that. And like, I'm not a cool kid in the whole scheme of things, but
it's
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
like it's like above my pay grade from like the scene itself.
Right.
And I'm just like, dude. Like, I just want to get back.
I guess you also just kind of feel like, because it was like so, you know, it was special, and it wasn't something that was like advertised that just anybody could just go get. Like,
you're a little underground at this
you're
point,
underground,
right?
and I mean, even though you're a major, huge rock star and globally, you're still like within Minneapolis. Like, if you don't know that this is happening,
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
But once you know, like, you're let into this little circle, and if you keep getting the information on when it's happening,
yeah,
you're going.
And there's a feeling that comes with it, right? Like, there's this like undercurrent. I mean, and some people maybe didn't catch it, but like, I just wanted more of that.
Yes, we did.
Feeling, you know. I mean, it's like a rock and roll love affair, man. You know, it's like you got this thing.
Yeah. How do you get more?
How do you get more?
Yep.
It's so fascinating, you know. And I think, I mean, as we interview these people, I think we're trying to tap into some of those emotions, right? Some of those like rationale and reason, tease it out, you know. So somebody in 100 years that's smarter than us can be like, "Oh, this is what was going on."
Right.
Because I think there's underneath the story, I mean, the positive impact, you know, is interesting, right? Like there's an inspirational element of people breaking through and being more than they envisioned and imagined of themselves because of this connection to Prince.
And I think it's also too like that little small slice of Hollywood right in your backyard, you know.
Heck
that
yeah. I mean,
you see on Entertainment Tonight, and you see all the other stars doing those things, and then you're like, yeah, but there's Prince, and he's right here.
Yeah, and he's rolling with Chris Rock tonight.
Yeah, or who's in town? Who's playing in town? That was another thing too. Is always like, whoever had, like, you'd watch and see who's playing in town. Like, you know, Lenny Kravitz is here, and it's Wednesday night. It's like
something might be popping.
Something might be going at Paisley Park.
Yeah.
So you always just had to keep.
Did you DJ that gig?
Which one?
The Lenny Kravitz after party from his 5 tour? I think you did.
Feel like I did.
That was summer of 98.
I know there was a couple times when Lenny Kravitz was out there. I remember when I was DJing one time in MPG Music Club up the stairs. They had the DJ booth up there that Prince and Lenny Kravitz both came out and stood next to me and hung out in the DJ booth for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes and then disappear. Yeah,
the one that night after the 5 show, like literally I'm out on the dance floor dancing, you know, getting my little groove on as I do. And I'm dancing, and all of a sudden, like, I can like feel like commotion or whatever.
Right.
And I'm like, am I dancing that good? Like, you know.
Right.
It was not me. It was Lenny Kravitz. And I look over my shoulder. And Lenny Kravitz and Prince are dancing on the Love for One Another dance floor. And what's crazy about that is all the times that I had been out to Paisley Park, like all of the times, dude, I'd never seen that brother out on the dance floor.
Doesn't happen often.
No, I mean, like, and not that he couldn't dance, and not that he wouldn't like make a little move every now and then, but he was not like,
no.
But him and Lenny were out there and they did their thing, and it was like maybe 45 seconds,
right?
And then, you know, the crowd kind of gathered, and all of a sudden the dynamic changed.
Yeah, once the crowd gathers in, it's like,
then they're like, hell no,
we're just trying to fit in here.
Yeah, they were just like, I thought we were here to dance, you know? It's so funny.
Yeah.
So we're done with the first couple episodes. What did you think about the Bill deal?
I thought Bill was amazing. I mean, for a first guest, the amount of times he's seen Prince perform live, and
were you ready for that? I mean, did you know?
I mean, I knew he's been out there and whatnot, but I didn't know he was number one Bill.
Number one Bill. I mean, the dude went to Glam Slam 5 times a week.
Sometimes, 3 to 5 times a week, and first person in the door, and he had amazing stories. I mean, we'll see what happens as we go along here, but I could imagine him coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we could go down some other rabbit holes with him. So what was the most, impactful thing from that interview from your side? What kind of hit you coming out of it?
I mean, just the kind of the overall, just the fact that he's just been following Prince and going to see Prince perform like for so long, forever.
It's a lifetime, right? It's like 40 years.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sticks with him, you know, through all the ups and downs, and you don't care what the general public has to think.
Yeah.
Like,
stood his ground, did his thing, kept with him. Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, my biggest takeaway, I think, was, he talked about his Prince friends.
Yeah.
His Prince friends, and I think those Prince friends kind of even came generationally, and I thought that's interesting because I feel like I got my Prince friends too, right? Like the relationships that I've sustained, even coming out of high school, a lot of that commonality is based on Prince, right? Like it kind of was like a glue that kept otherwise different people together. So, I get that whole Prince friend concept where it's just like people that I roll within the Prince community and do Prince stuff with.
Yeah.
And we can just break out on any given moment at any given time into some form or fashion of a Prince lyric, a Prince analogy, a Prince reference that we are on the same page.
Yeah. Well,
because we're living that Prince life.
And there's a lot of, sometimes too, it's like there'll be a lot of people that we talk to on this podcast that we know from going out to Paisley Park, but at the same time, a lot of times you don't really get to know them. Like you see them at Paisley and you know them.
But you don't know them.
You might chat with them in line when you're waiting to get in line, but then once the music's on, and then if Prince is performing, it's not like you're having a conversation about what are you going to do next Wednesday.
It's interesting because like I feel like many of those relationships for me have gotten more real, I guess, like where I'm seeing people outside of that scene, right?
Since
his
death.
Passing,
for sure, definitely.
So I think that's an interesting deal. I like the idea, like that bill. It's like these friendships, connections, relationships. It's to me much of what Paisley Park was. There was this knitted fabric of other people that were into something like you were into it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the relationship connections that emerged from that, and then I think strengthened in his passing, are really interesting.
Definitely.
So we got some more stuff coming up down the pipe.
It's gonna get even more interesting.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think about the next episode? These people ready?
Our next episode, I mean, you might not know Dion Anderson, but if you've heard some of the deeper cuts like Days of Wild or The Ride, you've heard her voice.
She's on there. She is on there for sure. She's on wax.
Yes. So yeah, she'll definitely be a great guest. And we spent a little bit of time outside of Paisley Park with her and Tia. They would always be, the first two people in line, and we'd usually be third and fourth.
Yeah, in the competition for who's getting into Paisley Park first.
Yeah, and even if we got them first, they get their space. That's just how it was. We didn't want to get beat up.
Yeah. We just managing the politics here.
Right.
So smart. We're intuitive like that. That's how we've lasted in this game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. Yeah, so Dion's coming up. Check it out. And then, we'll keep kind of on this pattern, an episode with Dudley and I talking, breaking things down, trying to give you some perspective on, where we come from, kind of the goals of the interviews, giving some context, telling some stories, setting some things up, trying to give some additional analysis and background and hopefully fun of the experiences that we've had along the way. So
you know what we should do?
What should we do?
Which we haven't done yet.
What?
Is we should give them our social media information.
Oh, yeah, we should drop that. So y'all need to get out there and like us, right?
Yep.
Like us on the Facebook page, which is Paisley Nights.
That's right.
Paisley Nights. Check it out. Facebook, like us. Post some comments. Hit us up on Messenger. We definitely want to hear from you. We also got a Twitter page. Dudley, what's our Twitter handle?
It's at Paisley_Nights.
And we got followers all really from around the world right now. Okay. Shout out to who's our UK follower?
Barbara is her name. She's at Gerbara, Gerbara 5758.
Shout out to her.
She follows us.
Shout out to her. we are worldwide. Like our stuff. Retweet us on Twitter. Share these podcasts. Tell a friend. Put us on the Apple deal. Give us the 5-star rating. Hook us up. Write some comments. Tell us that you like it. Or
help us get this thing going.
Or not, right? But I mean, just give us some comments. Give us some feedback. We definitely want to hear from you. If you're a Paisley head, been doing this thing for a while, while, hit us up. I'm sure we'll know you by face or potentially by name. We'd love to get you on the interview list.
Yep.
We got a lot of work to do. This thing's not an overnight thing. We're going to do this over the next few years and get these stories out there and hopefully have a good time while we're doing it. Right, DJ Dudley D?
Yes, Mark Bonde, we are.
All right, so we're about to be out of here. Get to that next episode. It's released in mass, so listen to Dion tell some stories. It's going to be fantastic, and we'll check you on the next one. This is Mark Bonde and
DJ Dudley D.
And this is Paisley Nights. We're chronicling the days of wild. Peace and
be wild.